Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to this, the last stream in our 13-hour Academy Day Marathon. Before we go round and say hello to these wonderful faces around the table today, a quick message about us and our sponsors and all of that good stuff. Check out our social links, Discord, Twitter, and YouTube. There's no such thing as social distancing, not in this day and age. Simply distant socializing. Use those tools. Come and socialize with us at a distance. And Twitter, if you send me a DM, I'll set you up with a game. We're all about getting new people into D&D, so if you fancy it, send me a DM, we'll sort it out. YouTube, thousands of hours of content over there if you want to get a feel for what it's like. Our sponsors, check out Hero Forge for all of your magical miniature requirements. They now do color minis, or at least the beta has just been released this week for their new color tool, which you can see here on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. EDT as we make characters in their new tool. Also, check out Mage Hand Press, who make expansions for 5e. They currently have a 25% discount on all of their PDFs to support distant socializing. And you can see us playing their Faitholio expansion on Wednesday at 6 p.m. EDT. Also, check out Dungeon Fog. Dungeon Fog, for all of your map making needs, you can go and create beautiful maps which you can print out or share with your friends online. As you update the maps, the GM notes dynamically update for you. So if you add a car into your shady alley, the GM notes to update to say there's a shady alley with a car on the left. Last but most certainly not least, the Deck of Many. The Deck of Many Things is a donation reward. That's ominous. I just split the deck and pulled the death card on myself.
Oh no.
If that's a sign for how the session's going to go, then so be it. The Deck of Many is a donation reward. Would I throw that at a new DM to spice things up? Yes, I would. Have I warned Alex Chronist about it? No, I have not. But there it is. Also, you can check out our Humblewood campaign on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. EDT. Cute woodland creatures trying to prevent the forest from burning to the ground. Lots of fun. Let's go around and say hello to everyone, starting with our Dungeon Master, Chronist.
Hey everybody, I am Chronist. I am your Dungeon Master today, and I will be the one taking you through the Lord of Stars adventure that I have put together the last couple of weeks leading up to this. And along with me, I have my marvelous players, and I think we would go clockwise, which would lead to Darwin next, I think, yes? Oh, I'm sorry, I go with character names so habitually.
Either one's fine. Hello, I'm Shannon Strucci. I do a lot of YouTube and podcast stuff like Strucci Movies, Critical Bits, Struggle Session, and I am playing Darwin Depreme, who is a Circle of Spores druid.
That is so cool.
I just accidentally put down plenty of cloves instead of plenty of alcove. Hi,
I didn't even notice.
I'm with this. Yeah, plenty of cloves. You want spices? We got you spices. Next around the screen, we have Nadine.
Hello. My name is Nadine. I'm going to be playing a wonderful little dwarf cleric. It's the first time I've ever played a cleric, so this will be exciting. I do the podcasty things and the voice acting things over on my Twitter. And I also do some games on Twitch. That's me. And I'm super excited to play.
Fantastic.
Super excited to have you.
Yeah. Next around, we have hashtag subtext Paul.
Hi, everybody. You may remember me from such hits as Critical Bits and other stuff I'm sometimes in. I have podcasts coming out with Shannon shortly, but all of that's in production. You can catch me at hashtag subtext, and I'm playing Gnorman, a gnome who pronounces things in a totally gnormal way. And he's an arcane art. He's an artificer, artillerist. We'll try again. Take another swing at that. Artificer, artillerist, spy. And yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
I love this so much. Me, you know me. I will get the tweet updated in a minute, and I'll get all that stuff rolling. Yeah, let's. Honest, I put it in your hands. The stream is yours, my friend.
Fantastic! Thank you so much, man. I'm just very, very keen. Now, Scrat, you wouldn't have had a chance to have a look over the little adventure background I've shared to everyone, but conveniently, I'm going to read it to you all so we all are on the same page, and we'll go from there. So, upon the day of an annual town festival, we join our heroes as they take some well-needed rest in the beautiful country town of Aimson, a small farming paradise located in the middle of a barren grasslands. However, word of your presence reached the ears of the local mayor and sheriff, Emmy Grant, who has sent for your summons in need of extra hands. It appears a local renegade citizen has been causing trouble, but because of this festival taking up so much of her time, Emmy was unable to look into this matter herself and thus has hired you all. Were it not for the urging of the town cleric and leader of the festivities, Seldom Harrison, she wouldn't pay it much mind, but if it is in the interest of Aimson, she will see it done. The individual in question is an old woodsman by the name of George Blakestone, and while he keeps mostly to himself, he has been known for his difficult sense of humor. Recently, he's allegedly been going out late at night and scaring folk around the outer farmsteads, making strange noises and opening gates, causing some of the livestock to go wandering. George is a larger man, very barrel-chested, and stands about 6'2". He has short dark hair and usually a big bushy beard, and a large scar on his right hand from a whittling accident. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, and hopefully you have, is to go into the woods and find George Blakestone and determine what exactly he has been doing and why. If absolutely needed, you are to bring him into town where he'll be put in a cell for the night to avoid any more trouble. Afterwards, Emmy will make sure that you all get a few free drinks at the celebrations, and they will cover your lodgings personally, plus a little bit of gold in your pockets. And with that, I leave you with a local map, the last words. I leave you with a local map and the last words from the mayor sheriff herself. And you know what? If you happen to catch him in the act, maybe wave your weapons at him and put the fear of Emmy in him. I mean, don't hurt him or nothing, but yeah, just give him a taste of his own medicine. And it is here that we will begin as you all make your way out of town towards the woods. But first, we're going to go through and describe our characters. And if my memory is serving me correctly, anti-clockwise would go Vrex, Norman, Pire, and Darwin. I think that's the order that the counterclockwise goes in. Excellent. Scrat, can you describe to us your character?
Totally, like, been playing this character for years and months now. Vrex, she is a dragonborn monk, standing at 6'2". She is a blue dragonborn. She is also a gladiator. She wears a raiment that is built for style and defense. You know, like, it doesn't actually give any armor stuff because monks, but like, it looks pretty good. It looks like heavy armor, even though it's actually just thin bits of metal. It looks damn good, and there's like spikes and stuff. But she's really well spoken.
That's so cool. Gnorman,
Well,
tell us about your danger that is your character.
Well, Norman is a regular height for a gnome, which, short for everyone else, wearing a dirty brown coat and plain gray suit of clothes, except for studded leather armor. But you can see tucked in his belt is a stick. Well, it looks like it is in fact a magical wand, but it is definitely a stick shaped like a gun. And if you've hung out with Norman long enough, you know that he has another one tucked into his boot for emergencies. And yeah, just sort of a noir detective vibe, which is odd to find in your, what are you gonna do though? I've been watching a lot of spy movies.
Fantastic. And Pire.
Pare is a dwarf of pretty tall stature for a dwarf. So, like, what, 2 inches more than normal dwarfs? And she has a very cool gray and gold suit of armor and a very nasty looking warhammer that is it normally that color? Who knows? It could be the blood of her enemies. But she is a very stoic looking, tan skinned, brown hair. Her hair is braided and has little gold wraps around it as well. And she is a total sweetheart, actually, in disguise.
I just sent a picture of Darwin in the Twitch chat that I drew a while back. But Darwin is about 5'8", and he has like druid robes on, but they're really kind of like musty, kind of old. There's probably like little like moth holes in him, and he's very pale and has like dark hair and sort of like baggy eyes. And he smells a little bit like mildew, probably.
Fantastic. What an eclectic group. Like just in height, this is fantastic. So, first question I will pose to you all. Who would like to be in charge of the map?
Absolutely not me.
Well, I feel like the most literate character, so it may well be me. And I have this handy scroll case right here in my bag, just for such an emergency, so I can keep the map safe. So I'll take the map.
Fantastic. All right. So I'll pose it to you like this. You've been given directions and a map that will take you more or less exactly where you're going. And there's a path that leads up to the woods that you presume leads onwards through it. But to those who are more savvy-minded, the trail most walked is not always the quickest. So if someone would like to make a survival check, we can try and cut some travel distance off this journey.
I have proficiency in survival. I'd like to do it. I think I'm an outlander too.
Even better.
If no one
Well
else
done.
wants to roll, I can. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Got a 23.
Ooh,
Norman is just running his finger along the actual road just again and again. He's like, yep, we're going to go this way. Going to go right up there.
That's a road.
Going to take it all the way up to the hill. It's going to be great.
Oh my goodness. So you guys, the party make their way as you journey up, and you begin seeing like the woodlands. It seems like very lush, vibrant, so much full with life. You can hear the sounds of like the various wildlife skittering through trees and making their way through the underbrush. And as the sun of this beautiful afternoon kind of peers through this loosely dense area, you get like this is a very peaceful and vibrant place. Darwin, though, you, based off looking at the map and like seeing the way these trees move and how the woods have grown, you can very easily determine that if you just kind of cut through this little section here, you'll easily save off like maybe 15 minutes to what could be an hour's journey.
All right, I tell everyone. I think there's a shortcut right here we could take. It would save us a little bit of time. We could get our
Oh, it's
job
not
done
on the
sooner.
map, but see, you usually know what you're doing.
Yeah, trust me on this one.
I'm good to try that. Yes.
Excellent. Well, in that case, Scrat, can you roll me a percentile?
You
Ooh.
betcha I
Rex,
can.
sorry.
No, you're okay. Yeah.
How to shake people playing D&D, get them to roll a percentile.
Oh.
What encounter?
Especially because often like percentile in D&D is high, but I'm used to playing Cthulhu as well, so I'm like, oh wait.
Oh no, I'm going to die. Oh wait, no, I'm not. Wrong game.
It's good or bad.
So-
I don't know.
No.
Which end of the dang bell curve am I on?
We're about to find out, right?
Maybe I simply just like arbitrary numbers between 1 and 100. Who's to say?
Who knows?
So
Scaring the players.
I'm sure it's
you continue
fine.
making your way off, and you can see as the path veers off in a slightly northeasterly direction, and your journey goes more directly north itself. And as we continue making our way through this woodland, the trees begin to be a little bit closer as the foliage is a little denser. The light that comes through becomes a little less vibrant, becomes a little less prominent. You can see as long shadows twist and creep between the tall trunks, as thin beams of sunlight squeeze between the branches above. And suddenly you all notice that there is no other noise other than the sound of wind as it whispers between these old branches and ancient woods. And you continue making your way forwards. Seemingly, nothing happens, but if anyone would like to make a perception check, feel free to do so.
Is it me, or
I'm
is it
scared.
just a little bit quiet out here?
It is a little quiet.
But it does seem like the normal amount of quiet, not an undue amount of quiet.
You don't think maybe too quiet?
No, I think it's like a normal amount of quiet. I think it's actually extremely loud. That is what Norman thinks.
Fantastic. Well, if anybody would perception checks. Oh, they're in the chat. Fantastic.
Yeah, that didn't go
Right.
great.
Anyway,
With,
let me
with
do this.
his-
I want to try and help out.
I mean, if you want us all to roll one, I can.
Yeah, feel free. Anyone
Oh,
who
there
would
we
like
go.
to.
There's 17.
Mine
17.
shakes out as a 3, incidentally. That's
Alright, and Darwin, as you making your way through this forest, the absence of sound is a little perturbing. There is, based of what you know of this area and the woods that you had like simply just walked through, there was life here. There should be life here, but for some reason or rather, it simply isn't. At the moment, at least. And so, I assume you would like to continue moving forward, yes?
Is anyone else a little bit concerned about the fact that there are no anything? There's nothing. I cannot hear.
like nothing and nobody. Yes, I find it a little unsettling.
So no
Exactly.
squirrels,
That is exactly how I would say it. Thank you, Norman.
no birds, no animals whatsoever. Because I have speak with animals, and I would like to if I could cast it and try to talk to an animal. But if I don't even see anything, it's so
There
weird.
do not appear to be any. If you would like, you can make a survival or investigation check to have a look around, see if maybe something is burrowed below a tree or within a little hole or something.
Yeah, I'll have one of them investigation checks.
I'll do a survival.
Norman
20
stubs his toe on a tree root. Not going great
Oh, is it? It's compounding it. Sorry, let me do that again.
for Eberron's greatest detective.
Okay, I got a 12 survival.
Fantastic. Okay. You look around. You manage to find some like old nests that haven't been attended for a little while, but otherwise you don't appear to see any signs at all. Whatever was here has been gone for quite a little while now.
That's very ominous. I don't like that.
Nope, don't care for this at all.
I'm not really used to the woods, but aren't they supposed to be full of like deers bringing you food and stuff? And like the stories always have people singing to birds and making them explode and all that sort of things.
Well, I do that. I don't make them explode, but I talk to birds a lot. And normally, you're in the woods. You expect some birds, some squirrels, maybe some deer, something.
I mean, I
Norman-
can't really see anything past the shrubbery. I'm quite small.
Don't worry, beyond it is simply a second shrubbery, making a little two-tier effect.
Norman makes some little clicks and chirps, which he is as part of being a gnome is able to speak with animals through not words, but like a little there's a little communicative hand jive. I'm not even sure, it's not super clear, but yeah,
It's an interpretive dance.
chirps and whistles, interpretive dance. He does a couple of things if anybody responds, but
There is no response, just the sound of the wind.
that's what I thought. But just thought I'd try whistling into the dark.
Hey, you never know when you'll strike gold, my friend. But
Not
Yeah.
here.
presumably, you would like to continue moving on, following the shortcut you have basically found. Yes,
Sure, cautiously.
of
So
course.
probably a little slower than normal. I'm gonna be looking around. I don't think I've ever seen this before, and I've been in a lot of woods. I basically just I'm a weirdo that lives in the woods. Like this is very disconcerting for me.
Are we concerned that we may need to be cautious? Is that something that we're doing right now?
I think so.
Norman takes out an infusion and applies it to his primary wand gun stick.
I'm going to do very Power Rangers-esque and cast Pass Without Trace.
Oh, nice, nice,
Nice.
fantastic.
I thought that was just flair. I was down for it. Absolutely.
It takes
I
two key points, so I need to gather my key.
Gotcha.
If it runs out, I can cast it as well. We can
Awesome,
just
thank you.
be stealthy forever.
Fantastic. So we see We see as the party are making their way through, this kind of darkness begins to settle over the slightly darkened area. So we have this double shadowy effect as this inconspicuous blob of blackness makes its way through the forest with the party encompassed. I think, yes. Yeah, that's what it does.
Yeah, it gives us +10 to stealth, so if we want to be stealthy, or if we need to roll any stealth rolls, we can.
Yeah.
A veil of silence and shadows. Gives you a +10 to your stealth checks.
Would anybody like to roll some stealth checks?
Well,
do
I mean, it sounds like a dare. I can't
It
really
does
resist
sound-
that.
Yeah. Also, I realized I didn't quite appreciate. I know Paul commented before we started, but I didn't realize how good my rolls are. I'm good at everything.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I'm good at everything.
I'm that kid. I'm that kid in the playground.
22. The clanks of my armor do not exist.
It is so well polished and oiled. It is like
Mhm.
perfectly moving gears on a plane of Mechanus without noise. It's beautiful.
Since like this is like a 30 stealth, can I just flavor this that I'm like maintaining the spell by doing like front flips and like flying kicks and like spinning back kicks and like all of that sort of stuff as we move in complete silence.
Paul, did you include
it-
the +10?
I did not, so I'm
Okay, you
gonna
got
be
a 25. I still got a 15.
Oh. Oh,
I didn't do great. I rolled
Uh,
a 3.
Norman lights a pipe as he's walking through the mist. Is just looking cool with his coat, just smoking a little bit, and then yeah, then it sounds like Darwin just stumbles into him.
Oh, I'm looking at the ground. I find like a mushroom or something. I get really excited and I just fall over myself. I mean, 15 isn't terrible, but it's not a 30 something. So.
Oh, wow. Well, for the most part, aside from the occasional kind of clunk here and there that you see, and like kind of maybe trotting on one another in this slightly dimmed lighting, the group as a whole, you move very quietly through this forest, especially with Rex at the front, flipping left and right all over the shop. It's incredible. So, as you continue making your way through the woodlands, some of the trees begin to part a little bit to reveal a clearing, and in ahead, you see a small log cabin, clearly made from the surrounding woods as it sits unmoving. The various detritus of the woods lay around it, along with various signs that say "Do not enter" and "Not for hire." But there is no sign of movement or activity. Everything just seems quiet, except the door as it slowly creaks back and forth, not properly closed. What would you all like to do?
I think this is a perfect opportunity, since you've given us this foreboding thing to like look at, to mention that during the break we had a hype train, and that hype train awarded you, the Dungeon Master, 8 disadvantages to use against us at your pleasure. Just as a great time to bring that up, I think.
Oh,
You know, the hype
Wow.
train gives lots of good things. There's only one tier that gives things to the Dungeon Master, and we hit that roulette well.
that's really cool. So I have 8 lots of disadvantage to give out, like negative inspiration, if you will.
Yeah, at your leisure. At your leisure. No reason. You can just call it.
Just good to know. I'll keep a note of that.
I see a shack.
We think that has the guy in it that we're looking for that's been messing with the festival and scaring people off, right?
It
Wonder if
certainly,
he-
sorry, please.
I wonder if he imported all that wood.
I believe it looks like it was from the surrounding area, to my understanding. But maybe he did. And the door is open?
Yeah, the front door is kind of, it's slightly ajar, creaking as the wind blows it open and closed.
Well,
But
Norman's
there
gonna
is no
fix.
time like the present. And
Yes,
hello,
yeah.
Mr.
We-
Josh.
All right. So, would you like to go inside said cabin, or you just go up to like where the front door area is?
I think the front door area. I think I'm just gonna. She's not that dumb. She's gonna look in through the window.
What?
If there is a window, I've assumed there's a window.
Yes, there are. There are a couple of windows, And so you make your way to the front of this little cabin. There's a couple little stairs that lead up to a veranda. And you can see there's an old chair and a small stool. You can see a little whittling area where you would assume George sits. And then, the front door that's creaking a little bit, open and closed. Through the windows, though, give me a quick perception check. Hooray.
$17.
Okay. The 17, you can see, firstly, there doesn't appear to be anyone inside, as far as you can tell. There's a small little kitchenette area off to like the back. There's a bed to the back right-hand side, and a lot of kind of homemade-looking furniture, very well crafted from this distance that you can see. And just inside the window that you're looking through, you can see a desk with a large amount of kind of paper cluttered over it, although these windows aren't terribly clean, so determining what that is, you can't from out here, I'm afraid.
Okay, I'll turn back to the rest of everyone and say, he is terribly talented, but very dirty.
Like many artists, says Darwin. Should we go? Do you think we should go inside? Is he there?
He doesn't seem to be in there.
Ooh,
Perhaps
let's go
he
snoop.
is getting... Yes, that is something... yes, snooping.
You could be out grabbing a ganache. Let's go.
What?
I just want to give Gnomon disadvantage on being, really.
I believe I've chosen a thing that already gives me quite the disadvantage at being. Meanwhile, Norman is correcting the spelling on the signs. Do not enter and not for hire. I'm doing this for y'all. I'm eating these disadvantages. I'm earning the ire of these disadvantages so that you may live.
You're taking a bullet for us. I'm gonna, Darwin's gonna like push the door open.
Fantastic. As you kind of push the door open carefully, again, creaks a little bit, but stops very quickly as it seems like it was just that one point. Inside, however, it's actually really quite a nice little cabin, although dust and detritus has kind of blown in through the open door. And on the far side of this little area, you can also see that the back door, which is completely open, much the same has happened there. And would you like to head inside, or would you just like more descriptions?
Oh, I'll go inside and start looking around.
All right. Well, you can see that this cabin is approximately, let's say 20 by 30. It's quite a nice, large, single-roomed cabin. There's, as I said, there's a kitchen area to the back left, and on the back right side, there's a large bed with like heavy oaken legs and presumably a straw-like mattress of some description. There's a large shelf on the immediate right-hand side with like just various books kind of scattered across it. And on the left, there's that desk filled with various notes and little journals that have been piled, along with a map that you can see has been attached, hand-drawn and attached to the side wall next to it. If you would like, could I get an investigation check from you? If you would like to investigate and have a look around this room.
Sure.
I'll also check. Puree, do you want to head inside as well, or are you happy staying outside?
Is that me?
Oh, yes, sorry. Would you like to head in, or would you like to stay on the front yard area?
Yes, absolutely. I'll head in. I'll have a snoop around, as Darwin said.
And Vrex, what about yourself? You can see that Norman is working through and painting various signs. Just out the front area. What would you like to be doing?
Well, I was intending to be the last one to head in, but then I see that Gnorman clearly has their work cut out for them. They'll be okay. I'm just gonna.
I got business.
Fantastic. So is that, sorry, are you heading inside as well? Or are you staying
Yes.
out?
I consider waiting, and then I see that they've got a concentration face on. You know, they're in. I'm gonna head in. I'm heading in.
It's only a couple more. I'll be right there.
Fantastic. All right. In that case, just Darwin and anybody else who would like to start snooping around and inquiring. Can I get investigation checks, please?
I got a 21.
Fantastic. Vrex, would you like to look around, or you?
I think, yeah, I'm mainly gonna be keeping my eye out for danger though. So I think my thing's gonna be more like looking for traps and things than anything else.
Mhm.
Investigation happens to be the one thing I'm bad at.
Oh, who
Has to
knew?
be
Roll
a
with a
dumpster.
disadvantage just to be safe.
Sure thing.
That's one.
Waiting for an 8.
I think you'll find
Nice.
a 7. Oh, yes, good. Excellent. And
I
Beret.
think Parade's just going to go into like the side pocket of her armor. I'm sure, I don't know, a saddlebag. She'll have something, and she'll
Yeah.
pull out like a very pristine white handkerchief with a monogram on it, and then just start like doing that to the windows. It's just so dirty. It's absolutely disgusting.
Fantastic. All right. Okay. I will do Vrex. I'll do yours, and then Darwin. Vrex, you're looking around, and with a 8, you do notice a couple of little things. Someone has left a perfectly good half-eaten chicken just sitting here by itself, like they just left it for whatever reason. You
Oh my god.
couldn't fathom why someone would do that.
Rex looks no further. She's gonna walk across, break off a bit of that chicken. Is it cooked?
Yeah, it's good. It's cold, but good.
Win! In it goes. Om nom nom. Someone left a chicken. Oh, this is amazing.
Meanwhile, Darwin, you begin looking around, kind of inspecting, and after like you kind of notice that Vrex has found this chicken, and there is that back door has been left just completely wide open without regard. You get the suspicion that maybe George left here in a hurry, or something has caused him to leave what he was doing, clearly dinner, which has been set out in this little kitchen area, and has gone, has simply not returned. And as you kind of look over towards like the bookshelves, there's quite a large amount of just various literature on whittling, on trees, and so forth. And you can see that there are a couple of what look to be little leather-bound journals that are put to a small little side section of the shelf. And I would also say that you would notice these ones have been put like on the shelf, filed away, and there's another one very similar, homemade, that is sitting on the desk amidst all this paper. What would you like to do?
Snoop. I'm gonna open the journal that's sitting on the desk. And how long does it seem like he's been gone, like judging by the chicken that Vrex is eating?
Vrex, you enjoying this chicken? Yeah. Taking into consideration the Dragonborn's appetite, probably a couple days, you would think.
Oh, cool. Okay, I'll mentally make note of that, and I'll start snooping through the journals.
A little green, but 3-day rule, right?
Yeah, you
fine.
have a high constitution, so you know.
I'm even more disgusted than I thought I could ever be.
Norman comes in, like, hey, did somebody say oh, come on. Oh, God, oh. Hey, what's in those journals anyway?
I'm looking.
1 second.
Me
Actually,
too.
Norman, can I get you to roll? Actually, Norman, what is your passive perception, please?
Oh, that's an 11.
An 11.
That's not
Fantastic.
really my game. I was here to look at the book. I came back to look at the books. I was going to do great at that.
Fantastic. Well, okay. Well, that's convenient because it is Paray who notices, not you.
Woo! Somebody was at the windows cleaning them off so they could see.
You see as Norman kind of steps away inside and makes their way over to where Darwin is. And you see this kind of like squishy track that they appear to be leaving in their wake. And it looks like they've stepped in something at some point and not quite noticed it, and then trod it straight in through the front of the house. with that, I suppose,
Slightly
Darwin.
green chicken in mouth. That's disgusting.
Oh, you begin looking through the journal that is immediately on this desk, and you can see the first bunch of entries. First pages are about different trees that are growing well, and when they expect to be good for cutting down, and what he's probably going to make with them. You can see various little notes about whittling and little things that he's going to do. And then it seems to kind of change in tone a little at some point, as you see a couple of entries that innocuously seem to speak of poor dreams, that he's kind of finding himself waking up at various hours of the night, unable to get back to sleep, hearing things. And then as you flip over the page once more, this page is covered entirely in black ink. It's just been manually colored this whole thing in, save for 2 white circles in the center of the page that seem to almost be looking out at you.
I turn the journal and sorry, I just hit my microphone. I turn the journal and I show everybody, pretend this is black with 2 little circles, and I'm like, this is weird, right? It was pretty normal. Then he started talking about dreams, and now is this like a creature that watches him in his dream? Like, this is not what we came here for. I just thought he was just sort of a weird guy that's been bothering people. I think something is wrong with the woods.
Perhaps he was. Perhaps he was just, trying something different. He does whittling. Maybe now he's into drawing.
It is a curious use of negative space. Draws the eye inward. It almost, they're staring at you.
Perhaps they are 2 little moons.
Well, that's way more comforting. I feel better.
If we put
this guy just likes 2 little moons. It's fine.
Okay, if we put 2 dots on them slightly to the left, pair of eyes.
Oh
it's
God!
Gone from comforting to not comforting anymore.
No, but look, and she's gonna get the chicken and just blot it with grease, and essentially make the eyes emoji out of the book.
Well, what's it looking? Now it's looking up in the corner. Norman turns around to look up into the top corner of the building.
Norman, give me a perception check.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's paid. That's always paid off. Norman stares into the corner intently.
Fantastic.
Wow.
As you've blotted it with this oily kind of chicken, you can see that there is more writing on the following pages as the page goes a little translucently in those strange spots. It now gives the impression that these eyes are filled with thousands of words that just kind of try to creep through.
Awesome. The page has gone see-through. That means there's a lot of energy in this food.
Okay.
That's the test, right?
What does it say on the other side?
Okay. And you can see there's a few more entries that come after this one. You can see there are a few more entries that come after this one, and he appears to be complaining that there were children in the woods who have been going out and having rambunctious parties, making noise, and it's quite bothering to him. He seems quite irate about it. And the following journal entry says, well, he went out to go. He said, I'm going to head out, see if I can find them, find out what's going on. And the journal entry afterwards, it says they weren't children. And when he realizes he had turned and he had started making his way back, but he thinks one of them, whenever they are, may have seen him. And he says, the forest isn't safe at night. Check back tomorrow. And I'll contact Emmy afterwards. But that's the last entry. There doesn't appear to be anything else.
Is it dated?
Does not appear to be. But based off the darkness of the ink, it's reasonably fresh. Less than a week, I would say. Hasn't faded or anything yet. and say, who has a great mind for the obvious? Norman.
Oh,
Bud.
yes. No, I'm sorry. I was just looking up at the corner. I really liked the way that they pushed all the angles up into one place, where like the way that you build houses. It's not important. I'm sorry. You guys wanted something?
Thank you very much, Joe
As
Graneri, for the
you-
subs.
Thank you. As you turn around, having peered at this corner, determining that it's probably not a threat, I think you're safe. A thing catches your eye in that the map that's on the wall, there is a small circle that's been like heavily gone around a bunch of times, just on the wall next to that desk area where the rest of your party are going through, or at least some of them are going through this journal.
Well, Norman tries to compare the map he has to the map on the wall and seeing if he can make out where, the orientation of that space is. Like, you guys ever been over here? I guess no, you haven't. We just got here, so you've never been there. But look at this. It's right here on our map too. We can tries to trace out and like make sure that the map matches, so that when we go there later, we'll see how that pans out.
And yeah, like as you like get up close to start looking at it, so you can copy it out and so forth, you can see that there are small notes that says Occam's Farm, with a question mark next to it.
Well, it's probably a very straightforward explanation. I'm sure it's not complicated at all. There's no reason to believe it would be.
Could I do a history check?
It's probably not where we're going to find him. Normally, in my past experience, it is X that marks the spot. So, and this is a circle. So, we should probably discount this.
No, that's good sense. Been in this game a long time. It's almost never
He's
owed
got
as much as
intelligence
it's
of
mine.
14. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Well, I have a wisdom of 12, so that's why I'm going along with it.
Oh wow.
No, I
Could I
think
do a history check to see if I've heard of Arkham?
Yeah, sure. Please do.
I'm not that proficient in history. Oh! Well, I got 17.
Well, today you apparently are. So, I'll say that if you're all right with it, I'll say that you maybe have done a little bit of reading while you were in this town recently, just getting a general idea of what this place actually is. And in your readings, you have learned that one of the original 4 farmsteads that this place was built around, one of those was called Occam's Farmstead, and it was raised by the Occam family. And unfortunately, it fell into disrepair quite some time ago. But it's remembered as one of like kind of the founding father places of this town.
Golly, do you guys think we should go check it out?
Even though it's a circle, I understand
Goes
what
against
you're
everything
saying.
we believe in.
Maybe it is a
everything is
cultural
weird.
difference. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Like there's no birds, there's circles on maps. I think we should check it
Exactly.
out.
But hey, there's greasy chicken.
Mhm.
Yeah,
There is greasy 1-week-old chicken that you have eaten. Yes.
Are you
Mhm.
sure you don't want any of this? It's really good. They've like seasoned it with something. It's like green stuff.
I appreciate being alive, so thank you, but no.
Oh wow. All right. So as you're all in here, Darwin, you still got that 22, I believe. And I'll say that you're the one who notices there is also appears to be some kind of like large box of some description that has been tucked a little bit under the bed, but you can see like the corner of it is sticking out where it wasn't put away quite properly.
Ooh, I snoop. I'm gonna pull it out.
All right, and yeah, you see this kind of large, once again, handcrafted, lovingly carved and polished, varnished, this big chest. And you can see that there is a strange little locking mechanism in the dead center where normally like a padlock or something would be. What would you like to do?
Can any of us pick locks? I can't.
Oh yeah, let me see what I can do here. The Norman pulls out a thieves kit. And
There you go.
So let's go ahead and give it a go. Let's see. So sleight is +3, and 21, please.
21. Wow. So you quickly inspect this thing, and you realize this is tantamount to basically a very small bear trap made from spring-loaded wood that has been kind of inlaid into this chest. So that were someone to try and open it without like a key or something safe, it would simply close on them. But very easily, it's quite a trivial handmade thing. So it doesn't take you very long to just put in a couple of those tools, twist, click, and it kind of snaps open a little bit.
Oh, this guy's smart though. This is cool. Look at this. Look at this. Watch it. And this comes a little open. It's like watch. And it pulls it back, and he shows you the teeth and the little action. That'll take your hand right off.
A little. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's fine. What's in there? But Norman, leads his head all the way into it.
Yes, and the mimic takes it. No. No, you can see inside there is there's a couple of things. Firstly, you find a small little pouch that has a bunch of coins in it. There is a little vial with a vibrant red-colored little liquid in there. You can see there's a few little small intricate wood carvings, like really well crafted ones. And you also notice that there's kind of an absence of something. You can see that there are a few crossbow bolts that are like kind of locked into the side inside of this chest. And you can see there's a strap for a crossbow, but you find no crossbow. It is simply not there.
Are those normal crossbow bolts, not silvered or otherwise or specialist towards some particular end one might want to anticipate later?
Not this time around, I'm afraid. They appear like nice, but just simple iron crossbow bolts.
Could I cast Detect Poison and Disease to see if the liquid is a poison, or anything within like 30 feet of me, if there's poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases?
You besides the chicken?
The chicken might light up on my radar.
Yeah, no, I'll say you can definitely do that.
Perfect.
Okay. So, does that look any particular way for you? By the way, does it just happen?
I think maybe it's sort of like the way I've seen Detect Magic represented. It kind of glows, or I can kind of interpret it because I'm used to doing this as a druid, and I've probably experimented a little bit with poisons and weird, like fungal stuff. So if something is poisonous, I would kind of be like, oh, that's that, you know.
Druid College.
Druid College.
Ah, what it is to be young. Fantastic. Okay, so is it every poisonous thing within like 30 feet of you, just to clarify?
It says for the duration you can sense the presence and location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet, and then I can identify what kind. It can penetrate most barriers, but it's blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood and dirt, which is very specific.
Yes, yes, it is. Well, first thing I can tell you is within like this box chest area, nothing appears to kind of assert itself as being poisonous, disease, dangerous in those kind of ways. And nothing else particularly within the house itself, bar one thing. Gnorman's footprints are kind of, you can see them with this murky brown green aura of disease. But they've faded as he's continued walking around this building.
Well, I have something in my shoe.
Norman, come here.
What, I step in something? Norman comes over.
Your footprints are poisonous. What have you, like, I want to, what's the duration on this? Concentration up to 10 minutes. So I'll walk around and try to figure out where that's coming from.
Fantastic. And Norman, as you kind of like inspect the underside of your foot, you can see like the various kind of squishy remains of what looks like insects of some description.
Well, I was out there fixing this guy's signs. You want to check that out, but there's definitely a lot of bugs on my shoes now. So that's...
Yeah, they're poisonous. Watch out. Don't lick your shoes.
No, it's not really... I mean, don't worry. I didn't eat any of the chicken either.
I'm going to try to find the source of the, like, whatever poisonous bugs there are.
Fantastic. All right. I will get you to roll me. I say it's an investigation check with advantage because you have like that visual aid to do so. While you're doing that, I'm going to touch base. Hooray. What are you doing at the moment?
Also, relevant, Pire and Gnorman have both been gifted nat 20s by the chat using their chat points.
Hey. I will be sure to
Awesome.
cash that in later for no reason. I'll try not to squander your very gracious gift. Thank you.
One for
I'll try to make
Darwin
it
as well.
worthwhile.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
See.
Pixie's coming in here just
Hooray. Yay. Hooray is, I suppose, just kind of just looking around this place, this cabin, trying to think about just watching, really. There's no real, she's not really doing too much. She's just kind of watching what's going on with the Darwin and Gnorman, kind of wrinkling her nose a little bit at the footprints.
Excellent. All right. Well, Vrex, what about yourself? You've enjoyed your chicken. It was amazing with all the variety and spices that a beautiful chicken rub could have. What about yourself?
Well, are there any, like, rafters in this room? Like, is there any ceiling beams or anything like that?
Yes, there would be two main struts that run across the length of this ceiling. It's kind of a high vaulted ceiling made from cloth and thatch. And yeah,
Right.
they've got the support beams across.
Well, you know, guy who puts bear traps in chests might well hide things up high. I want to do some wire work. I want to spring off a wall and try and get up on top of the beams and have a look around.
All right, fantastic.
I'm very happy to roll acrobatics if you'd like me to.
I think I will, just because I want to see how well you can kind of bounce from object to object and onto the rafters.
Whoa!
I can fly.
Oh, it's always so cool when he does that. Oh, so jealous.
Defies gravity. It's so... Whatever, just because you're tall.
That's probably, yeah.
My people need me.
Rex, can you tell me how a 26 acrobatics looks, please?
So, like, you know how, like, in like Crouching Tiger and things, like, the wire work is essentially made out that they can fly? That's exactly what this looks like. I'm going to spring off the wall and it's just like, you know, solid pose, but I keep on moving even though the momentum and physics don't look like they work properly until I alight gently on the beam.
Yeah, it's a strange, almost out of body experience. Like this one moment of tranquil, perfect peace as you just and you land, and everything is as it should be, and you know this to be true. And now I get you to have a investigate while you're up there. Good. Fantastic. I'll come back to that in a second. Darwin and Gnorman, you follow these tracks. I believe it was a 21 you rolled, Darwin?
Yes.
Fantastic. So you kind of follow these tracks down, and just at the base of the stairs to like the right-hand side, there is a small kind of, there was a small little pile of something that looks like worms, actually. But with a 21, it's not quite the full story. As you see a little further back, there's a little bit of a larger pile, and embedded in this, kind of pierced through this pile and into the ground, there's a discharged crossbow bolt.
Well, that's
I call
probably
everyone
not good.
over. I'm like, it looks like he attacked something.
Well, you do that, Vrex. You kind of looking around with a 12. I'm
Very pretty, but not too
afraid
bright. I
you're
had to
not
put a
going
double
to
set
see
somewhere.
anything. Yeah. You kind of, with all the great expertise of a trained acrobat, you are up there onto the rafters and scouring with all the wisdom that you have. Unfortunately, you do not see. Sorry, investigation intelligence you have. You do not see anything, but you do hear as Darwin and Gnorman call out for everybody.
Is pretty good normal. I think Hooray's going to just going to take the map on the wall. What time is it, Mr. Dungeon Master? In the day.
In the day, it is approximately mid-afternoon. You could ballpark without doing a check. If you want to determine exactly what time it was, I think it would be a survival check.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would require.
And how from our, like, I'm sure I can use a map somewhat. Would I be able to estimate how long it would take for us to get to, was it Occam's farm?
That is correct. Based off, with the map that you have in hand and like the references of knowing how long you traveled and so forth, you'd probably say about 45 minutes. In a general sense, could be a little bit either side of that.
I'll
Not too far.
kind of
though.
roll up the map and stick it in my satchel. My holding device.
Excellent. All right. So presumably we'll
Just
join.
never put pockets on plate mail anymore. It's terrible.
They're just so expensive.
This is a hard life you guys have. I'm sorry that you don't have pockets. But going forward, I will make a new rule. Everyone has pockets all the time.
I think Darwin has pockets with weird stuff in them.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't want to know what's in Darwin's weird
Oh,
pockets.
it's got some mushrooms and stuff. Anyway.
This is my favorite moss. Cool. Great.
Oh man, that's good. Cool. All right.
I'm more
So
interested in the chicken.
So, okay, if I'm correct, we're now all outside with Darwin, Gnorman, and Prey and Vrex. You join them outside, yes? Fantastic. All right, so yeah, as you two both join up here, you can see much the same. There's this pile of worms. It's kind of an elongated pile, if you will, actually, not just a mound. And at the top area, there is a crossbow bolt that has been discharged and now stuck into the earth.
And having looked at the other crossbow bolts, we're gonna say matches pretty well the ones I'm familiar with from the box.
You certainly get that impression, yes.
Cool. Well, that looks like his. Well, what next, guys?
I'm just gonna start messing with it. I'm gonna with my bare hands, reach down and try to move the worms.
Oh,
to get a good look.
Oh, you're going to just touch it. Great.
Oh, I'm just gonna. I was trying to see if I could do something with Druidcraft, but not really. So I'm just gonna touch it.
Wait, dear Hasbro, we keep having something come up in our game. How do we interact with worms?
Oh, you just touch them.
If you just touch it.
All right.
Do I need to do a con save or something?
No, you don't have to. But you might in a second. First thing, I will get a medicine check actually on this one.
Okay. 4.
Can I help with that?
I got
You
a
100% can.
Good rate
Okay.
though.
Do you want me to do it? Do you want to just do it with advantage?
If you would like to roll it, or you
I can
can
roll.
bestow
Okay.
advantage upon Darwin. Either is fine.
I've got 18.
Sweet. 18 and 17. Wow. You're so both good at this. Fantastic. Okay. Sweet. All right. So you begin looking through this little pile, and as you're looking through, thank you for that. As you are both looking through this little pile, you find something a little more solid. It's kind of like sunk to the bottom of it, and you begin to pull it out. It feels like cloth. And as you kind of pull this fabric out, it's not fabric. It's a lot firmer. At a guess, this looks like it was once someone. This looks like flesh, if you will. That is
Human?
kind of. That is too hard to tell. It's kind of stained brown and ganky from all this viscera that is around it. But Yeah, no, this is definitely probably human skin, if you want to be specific. And you can see like a little tear where it was torn off from, where the crossbow bolt has embedded into this person, and then that flesh has simply come off.
You'll
don't know.
notice that Norman is now social distancing from 2 of the party members.
Did you find more chicken?
It's not chicken.
I think it's chicken. It's definitely meat. To some, it's gross as well. I'm gonna step back from the maggots. Did you say there was worms and such? Worms. Okay. Oh, worm.
Oh, now it's
Humans,
fine.
I can deal with. Viscera, I can deal with. Worms, no.
Yes. Darwin,
Lots of protein.
are you a little more kind of looking into this, I would say? Are you? Or
Oh,
is it
yes.
a question?
I'm
Yes?
totally, like, I'm not phased whatsoever. Unless I think I'm actually physically in danger, I'm just kind of like, I'm not trying to eat it. I wouldn't eat something that was rotten, but I have no problem touching it or trying to figure out, like, are these like magical worms? Is this just like normal worms? Like, what's going on here?
So as you continue looking through this, you find a little more of the weird fleshy stuff, and at first you find what you think is a glove. It is not a glove. You very quickly realize. Sorry, good Norman.
Is that a glove?
No,
Oh.
it's not. It's definitely not.
Oh dear.
Cool.
Yes.
This was a hand.
So, with that all said, you continue looking through, and there doesn't appear to be anything else within this viscera that has been left. But to those who have looked at the maps, you can see that this direction is in the direction of Occam's Farm, as the direction this is lent towards, I would say.
Well, and what I'm considering just a normal coincidence that's fine. This is the direction of the farm.
We should probably go to this Occam's Farm. I'm sure there will be pumpkin spice beverages.
Probably a
It will all be
hayride.
fine.
We can pick our own raspberries.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Well, you guys want to link arm in arm and sing a jaunty tune while we go down this worm road, or shall we just trudge along grimly because of how terrifying it is?
Wait, I like have to wipe my hands on the grass. I know that there's poison involved. I'm like trying to clean my hands off like the best I can.
Fantastic. Sorry, let's quickly check. Scrat, how are we doing on time? Because I'm in Australia and our time's different to yours.
About hour and a
The
half.
hours still happen at the same. You know
Yeah.
what? Never. I'm sorry.
Well, actually, not I learned about half-hour time zones recently.
Yeah, Bangalore, India.
Adelaide!
Is on a half hour, and
Make me angry.
Yeah, like, what the fuck is it? Anyway.
Don't half time zone me. Don't.
Yeah, we've got about an hour and a half left, so now it could be we have a
The
break
good
soon.
people at Greenwich work very hard to make that time.
Fantastic. All right. Well, if timing is correct, this seems like the halfway point through our session. Now we can take a break if you'd like. I would like that. I'd like to get another coffee.
Yeah. So everyone,
Me as well.
we're gonna get up. We're gonna take a stretch and a break, and maybe refresh our drinks, take a bio, wash your hands, and we'll be back shortly. If you've been sitting with us since the beginning, you've been sitting around for an hour and a half. You should do the same. And we'll
Let's
be back.
all go stand up and walk around.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you in a minute. Bye. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a fantastic break. We certainly did. Without any further ado, I will hand back to Chronist.
Thank you very much. All right, so with that, you continue. You've looked over this little mound of worms, this pile, and with no other options, I'm going to presume you will journey towards Occam's farm at this point. Is that correct, everyone?
Yes.
Yes is what you meant to say. Good job, team. Woo!
Simplest answer.
Fantastic. So, you all begin making your way following the map. I'm going to say you don't need a survival check because you have 2 maps now at this point. You can comfortably make your way there and shear off as much travel time as is possible. So, you see as the forest, you journey for a while. It takes about half an hour. Apologies. And as the forest begins to thin around you, you can see standing this old barn that once must have been the Occam's farm. And around it, the ground is strangely clear. There's no trees have grown near this thing. There's like maybe a 30-foot radius around it. And it stands tall, like it's a big barn. The red paint has long since turned to brown, begun to bubble and run in the fact that this is a temperate area. And to all appearances, while no longer safe, it seems to have stood quite well, and both the doors are heavily closed. Does anybody have a passive perception higher than 15?
I don't think I do.
Oh my goodness. Didn't one of you have observance?
13.
It's still low.
We're all
Okay.
just looking at our shoes, okay? I got stuff on mine.
I can't see anything past the trees.
Well, you enter into this clearing and the barn stands before you. These 2 big doors, they don't look reinforced closed, just simply shut. What would you all like to do?
No?
We can start with, Vrex. Vrex, what would you like to do?
Shall we knock? I mean, what's the tone we're getting from this building? Are we walking up to a slaughterhouse? Are we walking up to, a place with
I'm getting from dead zone around it and ominously paint peely is we shouldn't go in here, but ultimately what's in there is probably very bad.
Are we thinking maybe don't knock?
I mean, it feels like formalities isn't really what the game is here. No, we're not at court.
Yeah, I know, I'm just.
I
really
could
used
knock with this. And I'll hold up my warhammer.
And is this the only way in and out of? I mean, traditionally, there's one door on a barn, but I know that not all barns are the same. If we do a perimeter check on the barn.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to say, you guys like stick to the outside of this clearing and do a quick once around of the barn. You can see like some of the side planks of wood have like broken or simply just fallen off. And there is a back door, like one of those big double back doors mirroring the front. But this one has been like, there is planks of wood that have been nailed closed on this one. So as far as you can see, unless there is perhaps a hole in the roof somewhere that nobody has seen, the main front door is the only way in. And an important question, are you guys stealthing or are you simply chilling?
I am trying to stealth, but I'm also hoping to keep to the exterior of the clearing to avoid that being a huge necessity. But yeah, you could have some checks, I guess, if that's what you're asking for.
I think it is. Anybody who would like to be stealthing, can I get a stealth roll, please?
Fairly sure
do
by
I have
now
time to...
Do
I
you
was
have
gonna
time
say,
for
do I have
pass
time to
without trace?
cast Pass Without Trace? Yes.
I say mine's
Yes,
worn
you
off by now.
A little bit.
I will happily cast that if it's not too late. Which I
17 for
understand
Pare.
Fantastic.
Norman
So
is
that's good.
like a ghost.
28.
Wow. So that's 28. We've got 28 for Vrex. There's a 34 for Gnorman. 17 for Pire and 27 for Darwin. Is that correct? I'm
No,
reading all
it's a
these-
16.
This is
That's with Pass Without Trace.
Oh. Yep. My bad.
I see some cool stuff. I fall over again. I see some moss, and I gotta put it in my moss pocket.
Are Darwin and Pare like having a conversation about all the different types of mosses and like the practices and like medicine and things like that?
this one's rare. I got this one. You know.
That one is a very pretty color.
And Norman and Vrex are standing by out in the back of the clearing under a tree. He's like, I really wish they would stop it. I do not know who taught them how to do this, but they were bad at it.
Just the attention span is just short. Just short.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
I guess
as
we shouldn't knock, but we should just go in now because it feels a little like we've blown this surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 16, but that's not a 30-something. So.
Well, we think we're doing a normal job, and that you're doing a terrible job. So
I think when Gnorman says, I think we've given up the element of surprise and we should just go in, I think that's like... Rex is going to take that very literally and just nod and just sprint towards the door. Like, flying kick through the door. Like...
Fantastic. You run, jump, boot. The doors burst open inwards, and you find yourself inside this still quiet and dark barn. And the first thing that hits you is this horrible scent. Like, it is grotesque and rotting. It is disgusting. And looking through this, like, this room is ominous. This barn is ominous. As the sunlight that peers through the various cracks and where the wood is broken away, all you can see is this dim orange glow that seems to settle across everything. And inside this barn, you can see all along the walls and the corners are just swaths of hay. And there's a couple of ladders, one on the left, one on the right, that lead up to a loft. And I'll say, Vrex, you do hear this. There is like a kind of rattling coming from somewhere within this barn that you hear. It's a slightly frantic-y rattling, perhaps of a lock or a chain or something.
Norman, with his speed of 25, eventually gets to the door. That is awful.
I think it might well be awful.
I see what you did there.
I hate that.
Nice. That rocks.
Nice.
Norman has dark vision, so is there anything additional going on in there?
Yeah, fantastic. Can you give me a perception check, please, Norman?
Sure. It's trying.
You can do it, roll 20.
Yeah,
I believe
so.
it.
Mine's been slowing right down
It's like,
today.
it'll just-
Mine's been really bad as well.
Ah!
Hooray!
Yeah.
Norman
Making a
finds a
difference.
piece of moss that he's very interested in, and now he's like
Not
taking
you
the hard things
too.
he's heard from Darwin, just staring off at a piece of moss. Yeah, some growth on the wood.
Some
I will-
lichens.
Also say that
I don't
you
like it,
begin
but I'm
hearing
starting to get into
scratching
it.
noise. Sorry. You also, with a 10, you also begin hearing this rattling noise, but you cannot identify where it's coming from. It almost seems like kind of both around you and not. It is somewhere within this building. I'm going to quickly touch base. Darwin and Pire, what about you two? Are you heading inside this barn as well?
You saw us doofuses run off.
I heard
Yeah,
the door bust
I-
open.
Yeah.
I'll-
We're walking up. Well, I used it in 84. That was very good. He had like some kind of
yes.
gangrenous thing going on, but
Oh, yeah.
oh my God, Vikes! Did the chicken come back out? What is that?
I don't know.
Really not liking how it rattles.
Yes, there's chains.
How can a chicken rattle?
Darwin is going to wild shape,
Mm-hmm.
and as a circle of spores druid, he can instead of wild shaping into an animal, he can do something called symbiotic entity. And Darwin is always sort of surrounded by these mold spores, and he basically like possesses himself with his own spores. And I get a bunch of buffs. I can do like extra poison damage, but like what it looks like is I just have black mold coming out of my mouth, and there's sort of like a hazy, disgusting, kind of moldy aura that I have. And I take out my hatchet, and it's like dripping with poison. I'm like, okay, guys, let's go in. And I like start walking in to look around with my like massive HP buff and stuff.
That's so cool.
Whoa.
So fun.
Norman manifests a tiny cannon with chicken legs and puts it on his shoulder, where it grabs the epaulets on his coat. And that is an eldritch cannon. We can deal with it later, but it goes magic boom boom.
Hey, well, as you all ready yourselves, this noise gets a little bit louder, a little more angry, a little more forceful. And you realize it sounds like it's coming from a downwards direction. What would you all like to do? I'll start with Rex and work my way around.
Are there any obvious ways down?
There's nothing you can immediately see, but the ground isn't clear either. There's like hay, dirt, kind of covering everywhere. The hay is like kind of scattered across this area and mounded in big piles on the sides. But I will get a perception or investigation check from you if you wouldn't mind, if you'd like to have a look around.
As I'm looking around, I'm going to casually, offhandedly mention to the group, we all know that nothing good is coming of this place, right? And, it smells flammable.
I see where you're going with this. I'm liking it, but I feel like it's only going to be because if it's down, what's down there can't possibly be made of wood.
That's true, I suppose.
And so it'll just be on fire up here, which is, great, because this whole building is an abomination. This is just bad. But
it'd be doing a service, really, destroying.
We can
a
do that, but
dangerous
we
building.
should make sure that what comes out, then we don't just make angry what's down here, and it comes out on fire to find us. Better or worse?
Is it bad that kind of excites me? Is that normal?
I mean, I just sort of look at you
yes.
like normal.
Norman is walking around, sort of kicking the floor as we're having this conversation. He's kind of pulling a little old Columbo while he's smoking his pipe. There's one more thing. Clunk clunk. What's this trapdoor doing down here? The 23 investigation. So he's hoping to find that way down.
And yeah, as you stand there kind of tapping your feet, as soon as you tap, you feel like this force crack into the underside of the trap door that almost sends you kind of like shaking off. Everyone you visually see as Norman is kind of sent like a few inches into the air at this, as it becomes like properly aggressive banging into the underside of this, now trying to break free.
No, I like the let's leave and set it on fire plan. Let's go now. Go now. Now, let's go.
I'm gonna walk towards it and try to. I don't have dark vision. I don't know how much I can actually see without lighting anything. But I kind of want to look and see if I can see what's banging, like Henrietta in Evil Dead 2, where the door opens.
Yeah, fantastic. I'll say.
Did someone say light, and I'll cast light on my shield so everyone can see.
Nice.
Despite the fact you've cast light, I'm just gonna, this torch, definitely for visual purposes, just in case there's any places, magical darkness.
Mm-hmm. Okay. A couple of things interestingly happen. So as you cast light, this vibrant, I'm assuming it's kind of like this holy light emanates out and spreads the room with beautiful radiance. Yeah? Fantastic. Yeah? Okay.
Yes. Everyone feels beautiful.
You
This
can
is
see
an
the
Instagram
slime
filter
coming
of
out
a
of
light.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. In all its glory.
Okay, so you would notice a couple of things as that happens. Aside from, firstly, the loft area, you can see there's visually there's stuff up there that's been put there. Now that this light is expanded, you can now see shadows cast from furniture or other things that are up there in that area. And I'll say something catches your eye a little bit actually. Over near the left-hand side ladder, there's something glinting around where all the hay is. And thirdly, the thing you're directly looking at, this trap door, now that it's visibly banging, moving, as though that someone rolled a 5, a 2, a 5, and a 7 on their perception checks to hear you. finally noticed your existence and now try to break out of this trap door. You can visibly see it moves, but you cannot see under it yet. The creature has not broken that far free.
Norman, about to retch, realizes, like, shakes his head and like looks at one of his rings and kind of taps the gem on it, and within a 10-foot radius of Norman, it smells like cinnamon now.
Nice.
Magical
According to
tinkering is a
Norman.
quality of life power.
Wow.
Okay,
Welcome, Raiders. Thank you, Arvanelleron, for the raid. Welcome in, everyone.
Hello.
Please check our content warning. We may be about to get gross. Who knows?
What? No. Yes. Speaking of, just quickly, Prey. Is there anything you'd like to quickly do after you've cast light? Or was it Prey who cast light? Or was it Darwin? Sorry.
No, it was me.
Sorry.
Fantastic.
I would like to... Just in case, I'd like to... I'll grab my warhammer and kind of slam its staff down on the ground, and there will be a chorus of beautiful French voices and a shining, glimmering light, and I will cast Beacon of Hope. Everyone gets, all of the party get, yes, advantage on wisdom saving throws and death saving throws.
Thank you.
It's concentration up for a minute.
Can I also have it?
You as a person, absolutely. You as the DM, no. You have 7 disadvantages still.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Because as you cast this, the banging stops, and we return to silence. What would you all like to do?
I'm gonna go check out the. Well, they can deal with the banging thing. I want to go see what's glinting up above the left ladder. I have a 25 temp HP bonus and all this stuff. I'm not scared right now. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Check it out.
So you kind of like walk over, and you can see this like soft glinting light in the hay at the bottom of this ladder that leads up, and you kind of like rifle through, and you pull out this strange little symbol. It looks like it's made of gold, and it is a wreath of hay stalks, and it looks to be some kind of holy symbol, actually.
Ooh.
It's
Could I
attached to
do
a
like a
small
religion
chain.
check?
Of course.
Just see if I recognize it. What's my religion? 2. I got 9.
You don't recognize it exactly as to what it is, but you suspect it is. It's likely a nature domain deity of some description, but exactly which one you couldn't put it down to.
Okay, I bring it back and show everybody. I feel like I probably shouldn't be touching it, but I already touched it. So. Like, look at this. This is weird.
Good. Hooray, have a look at it.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Go for it.
Dun, 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 dun. 20, unnatural.
Yeah, this is definitely the holy symbol of Shantia, who is the grain mother, the goddess of agriculture and farming. Exactly the kind of thing you would expect to find in a small little rural town such as this. But strange that it's here.
So nice for her to bless this disgusting, creepy barn.
Mm-hmm.
Never understood why they call them holy symbols. I mean, that one's clearly not got any holes.
It's a wreath. It does.
Oh, that's a Taurus. You can't count that as
Quite
a hole.
literally a circle.
This is a circle. So that's Darwin.
There's a difference between a ring and a hole.
None. There's no difference.
There totally is.
Anyway, I think we should probably get back to the big banging mad thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So,
do we think it's a people?
Maybe. No one's tried to talk to it.
Sorry, I do not know.
Darwin says hello. It's like black stuff coming out of my mouth. I'm like, hey! I try to talk to it.
As you do, you see the trapdoor kind of push up to its upper echelon without like kind of without opening properly. It appears to be kind of locked somehow, and then you hear the creak of metal as it is pushed open a little bit further, and you see long extended fingers kind of reach out, this pale flesh color, and looking at them, they appear to be writhing internally just a little. At the end of these fingers, long talons kind of there, and this rasping voice kind of, let me out.
Who are you?
I am your end, unless I am freed.
Darwin says no. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know about that.
I mean, let me out. I'm your end. Those.
Like, if you can't get out here to end me, it feels like the only way that you could end me is by me doing that and letting you out.
Like, so we're not gonna let you out if you start with a threat. That's very rude.
When he comes, and he comes soon, the vessel will be prepared, and I will be hailed as a champion. Release me that you may be spared.
Whoa! There's only one champion around here, okay? I'm the gladiator. I'd like to get up high. Is there anywhere I can get up high?
There are 2 ladders which lead to the upper top floor of this barn, if that's high enough for you.
Yes, that'd be great. Top floor of the barn. I want to be somewhere near the hatch so that I can, like, got a line of sight. I'm looking at a people's elbow from above, like top rope stuff.
Fantastic. You're about 10, 15 feet up, like line up perfectly, easily within reach of an amazing elbow drop.
Great.
And the voice says, the starred right hand will open the portal soon. You are too late.
How about an Arcana check for what the heck he's talking? I've never heard of it. Never mind.
I mean, you are aware of what portals are.
Sure.
They're usually, connectors between various dimensions,
or even just
planes.
rooms. Sure.
Or rooms sometimes.
Yeah. No, I've heard of, So, nope, sorry. I was hoping for some,
I don't need
hoping I'd read a book
disadvantage.
ever, but nah, it's not my thing.
Oh, man.
I'll detect poison and disease again. I feel like that might set something off.
Yeah, I feel like you're gonna go blind. You're gonna need sunglasses for that.
Yeah, I'll have to swipe away my own disgusting poison.
So many of them.
Okay.
Just to learn a little bit more of the nature of what's going on specifically. Because I assume a lot of this is diseased and poison.
A little more than you expect, actually. As your sense reaches out across this abandoned barn, and certainly this creature, which it is below you, it is disease-ridden. It is foul. But there is more. And you suspect underneath these hell bays, there evidence of what has transpired in this place. Maybe. Doesn't appear moving or anything, but...
So it seems like corpses.
I would say like your poison thing kind of like outlines whatever the thing is in a kind of color. So based off that, yeah, we'll say corpses.
I make note of it to my companions. I said I think there's been some sort of sacrifices or something awful, and that thing is disease-ridden, and that's coming from me. We all need to be very careful if it does escape.
As you say that, there is like this low kind of chuckling that emanates and echoes throughout there, kind of almost spreading further throughout the barn itself. Oh man, Vrex is so ready.
I guess what I said was funny too. Whatever.
So
Well, should we let it out and get the party started, or I don't know. I really want to smack it. It looks gross.
Sure.
I mean, we're not going to leave it here, are we?
We can't. From what it was saying, it would not be a good idea to leave it. I don't think it would catch up to us eventually.
Hey, listen, if he is our end, we shall be the beginning, eh? And I'll, are there like chains or whatever holding the thing down?
Yeah, there's like kind of a chain that runs over across the top of this, and it's bolted down on both sides. And you can see like a heavy padlock in the center now that like everything's been moved out of the way. And it's like the chain links that have been like creaking as it's been pushed against its will.
All right, I will go up to it, run as fast as my little dwarf legs can take me, and I'll, bam, smack the chain as hard as I can.
Yeah, with like the amount of force that's being applied to the underside of it, as you hit it, it just shatters, chain links spreading everywhere. And then there's kind of this moment as like the sound of this crack echoes through the room, and then there's a soft nothingness aside that is broken by the chuckle of this creature. I knew you would see reason, mortals. And unless anyone's doing anything, you slowly see as the lid, this trapdoor begins to open.
I probably also would have said to everyone, hey, if we were in a game or anything, I would probably tell you to hold an action so if you want to prepare anything.
I have a cantrip I want to do once it's out, but I'll wait.
Fair. Well, you see, as I was like, if anyone wants to interject at any point, because we're not in initiative just yet, so it may not be. Who's to say? The first thing you see is one arm, this long, gangly arm. It is, it's red. This arm's red. As it reaches out in places, and then another one kind of reaches out as well. This one, a pale, human-colored flesh, actually, but clearly unmatching. As then two other arms extend out, and this creature standing maybe 8 foot tall, I think I would say, drags itself out. You can see the remnants of a black bushy beard that is no longer there, with patches gone, torn clothes that have been ripped, these additional appendages that have been added slightly below the first ones, and then their hands, which have been recrafted in a way that is more like talonous knives than it is fingers and hands. And the head of this creature, this horrible, internally writhing being, it has these viciously sharpened teeth, a face with no lips, and wide, maddened eyes as it crawls out, kind of bringing itself outright. And it says, "You've chosen wisely. When the end comes." And Rex jumps on it. Awesome. All right, Rex, I'm gonna get you to make me a athletics on that one as your attack roll, and then we will be rolling initiative.
Now, sure thing. I do also have martial arts and things if you'd like a monk strike or anything like that.
You are.
Yeah. So I have unarmed strike. It'd be a monk thing, you know.
Fantastic. In which case, yes. Give me just a regular attack roll, please.
21. Yeah.
21. Yeah, 21 is going to very, very much hit this creature as you see your whole weight just brought down, crushing atop this as you like bounce, roll onto your feet. Can I get probably a good amount of damage? Well, can you give me the damage of what your regular attack as a monk is? I think that's D8 at your level.
No, D6 at level 5. So that's D6. 6 bludgeoning damage.
Fantastic, 6 bludgeoning damage. And can you also roll me an additional 2d6, please?
I certainly can. Another 9.
9, fantastic. And I'm going to say, like, while you have done this remarkably, you still just jumped off like a 12-foot high platform. And so you are going to take 4 points of falling damage from that. But the creature takes another 9 as you just crush.
Can I use a reaction?
Ooh, yes, you can. You have one.
To reduce that damage, as I am a monk.
Yes, you
Nice.
are.
Nice.
Fantastic. Well, with that being said, I'm going to get everybody to roll initiative.
Yeet. Wow. Roll
Wow.
20 giveth, roll 20 taketh away.
Wow.
Wow. Yep.
Oh my god, it is so ugly.
Darwin's like,
Oh my god, did you
"Ooh."
see that?
It's all right. I'm not good at rolling either. I think I'm missing 2 people. Norman and Vrex.
I rolled a 6.
Oh, right. Sorry, you were there. Darwin. Sorry. Darwin and Norman. Can I get initiative?
I got a
from you guys?
15. I wasn't able to make a character
Right.
sheet and roll 20.
Sorry. Of course.
So
of course,
sorry,
of
you
course,
have to
of course.
manually enter me and.
That's totally
Normans.
fine.
We both rolled well though.
All right. In that case, Darwin, did you say you got a 15?
Yes.
And Norman, what did you get? Sorry.
You're
You
muted.
are also still.
I apologize. I've muted myself. I rolled a 20.
Ooh, wow.
So here we come.
Got the little chicken cannon.
Yep. Got the little pointed stick and the chicken cannon, and we're gonna do a good job with both of them.
All the
Baba
classics.
Yaga cannon.
You know, it says you can give it legs. It's got legs.
I love that for you. And conveniently, though, the one with legs goes first. At the top of the initiative order is Norman. You see this like huge creature. It's like staggering. Its body is not. It doesn't look structurally great. And it's just like staggers after Vrex has just dove, driving this elbow hard into the head area. What would you like to do?
Well, Norman points his stick and he casts Firebolt for that's a 14.
14 to hit.
Yes,
That
sir.
is going to exactly hit.
Well, that is spectacular. So that is going to be 2d10 plus 8. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Nice.
And then add so 25.
25. Just a cruisy 25.
And with the bonus action that one might
Mhm.
have, where someone's so inclined, the chicken cannon takes aim and actually is gonna get my nat 20. Thank you, viewers. And so for that, what we are doing, this is the Force Ballista variant of the Artificer Cannon.
Mhm.
And it does, I believe, 2d8 thunder. Let me make absolutely sure, but I'm just gonna say yes, because if it's low, otherwise it's gonna be higher than that, and I don't really care. So take 17. Oh, I'm sorry, no, it's so it's already. I'm sorry. Tell me the crit rolls for 5th edition. I never roll a 20.
Ooh, that's a good question. Scrat, what are your crit rolls that you guys
Hey,
have?
it's up to you. We can either double one dice, you can roll twice. DM,
Alright.
house rule, what do you want?
In that case, max out the first dice and roll once.
Love that.
All right. Well then.
I only do big crits here.
Well, I decided to roll max damage for the one die I was rolling anyway. So go
All right,
ahead
great. Yes.
and take 19 and get pushed 5 feet back.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we see as you kind of like flick out your wand, whoosh, this firebolt arc hits them, just kind of crashing into the chest. Creature staggers back, more caught by surprise than like the sheer damage. And then you hear the sound of your weird little chicken cannon as it explodes off, just like blasts this chunk off the shoulder of this creature. Just kind of the whole part of it scatters across. And you see as this essentially skin suit falls away and just kind of an explosion of these vermin scatter across. And the creature looks up. You have made the wrong mistake.
I
Would
make
you like to
so
move?
many mistakes on a day-to-day basis. This can't be. I mean, I came here. That's got to be the. You know what?
that's if we're ranking them.
Darwin, you're going to be next, and then I'm on deck afterwards.
All right, Darwin has his little hand axe in one hand. With his other hand, he casts a necromancy cantrip called Chill Touch, which I'm going to do an attack roll and see if that hits. I believe that does hit.
That is definitely going to hit.
So it'll be 2d8 necrotic damage, which I will roll. And so let's see what that is. 11 necrotic damage. And what happens is this like ghostly spectral hand is wrapped around the neck of the enemy, and I'm assuming it's undead. I mean, I'm just taking a guess here.
I'll say so. Yeah.
It has disadvantage on attack rolls against me until the end of my next turn because it's undead.
Excellent.
And I'm going to use my reaction to use my Halo of Spores feature, which let me make sure I have that right. How that works. I think if you
you just pump more damage.
do a
into
DC
it, I believe.
15, or I think it was a DC 15 con save, and if not, I'll do 2d4 poison damage.
Fantastic. Do I take half on a successful?
I'm not sure.
You know what? We will say that it's going to, and I'll check it later. So can I get the 2d4 from you regardless?
Yes. I come up close to it and I just like blast it in the face with poison spores. Because I'm cocky because it has disadvantage on me, so I'm just like in its face with my poison.
Okay. And we can see as like you kind of blow it in, the creature sniffles, kind of inhaling this unwillingly. And it shakes its head, its eyes kind of blinking rapidly. You see like they begin to redden bloodshot quickly as this creature is just in pain and enraged. And it looks down at you. You have all made horrible mistakes. You will be the first. And then it looks over towards Gnorman. And you, I promise, will be the last. And that's going to be this creature's turn. So this creature is going to, make its one of its attacks against you, Darwin, as you're directly right in front of it. And it's going to be with disadvantage, is it not?
Yes, with disadvantage on attack rolls. Because
Well,
the
very
ghost hand
lucky.
is still on it.
Fantastic. Okay. It reaches out with this waving claw that arcs coming down low towards you. It's going to be a 17. Is that going to hit?
Yes, that hits.
Ooh, good news. It
My
wasn't.
armor class is 13.
Well, it wasn't the nat 20 that I rolled, so you've got that coming for you. And okay, that's going to be. Oh right. Do with that in a second. Apologies, guys.
Feeling good.
That's going to be 8 points of slashing damage as this thing just kind of. It barely notices your armor, just ribboning through. These are terrifyingly sharp. And as it does that, it just goes past you. Its eyes are locked on Gnorman, and it's staggering towards him. It is going to slash, and I don't believe you have a reaction because you've already used yours, my friend, as it slashes at Gnorman as well. That's going to be a 25 to hit you, Gnorman.
Yeah, you got him. You got our boy. That's not great.
Just beat the
And
armor.
I'm afraid it's 12 points of slashing as I do roll an 8.
That is a lot of damage, but well, that's
It's-
what happens when you go into a barn full of corpses and fight a thing with too many arms.
Happened to me last Wednesday. It was just
This is part of the game.
We
part
need
of
to
the business.
learn. Why do we keep doing this?
Every single time.
Hey, you group of adventurers, we have some stuff we'd like you to help us with. Just head on down to the barn. I'm sure it'll be no big deal. Every time.
Yeah, they didn't actually
Hey.
ask us to come to the barn. We kind of came here out of civic duty.
Okay, so
And-
you're stupid this time. Oh, I am bleeding a lot more than I am usually bleeding.
This creature, as it looks down at its handiwork on Yuga Norman, it smiles this wide grin that threatens the structural integrity of its own face, and it begins stepping away. If you have a reaction, you can make an attack of opportunity if you would like to.
No, I would. No, I'm gonna let it go. That's fine. It could go that way.
And it does this strange thing as it kind of leans, as it walks backwards, it lets itself fall forwards onto its arms and almost slithers backwards into the hail.
Ooh.
It's going to use its bonus action to make a hide check. And based on your passives not being higher than 15, it disappears. Ooh, but Darwin, I
We're
will
all
tell you
so
this.
blind that we're just like, where did it go?
I don't know what my ghost hand, but yeah.
It's behind one bale of hay. This is this huge
One
one.
bale of hay in the whole barn.
It's like tucked up right behind it.
It's more so that there are like these huge, large mounds of hay, and it's slipped inside, but like they're almost connected to each other, so it could just be making its way through and between these. You can't seem to see its movements, though, however, which is going to bring us to Vrex's turn.
Okay, so
You're up.
what's the scenario here? Can I like attack with disadvantage, like, or like invisibility, or do I need to make a perception check to identify where it is?
If you're making a targeted attack, you will. If you were using something like a fireball that was just an AoE, you'd be fine to go as is. But right now, you cannot see this creature.
Okay, so but and that, yeah, oh, damn it.
But I will give you this, however. As Perret, your shield is like this beacon of light. You can see like this whole main area in like the central where people would normally be like, working and doing stuff is super well lit, and the only dim parts are these large hay things on the sides. So
Alright.
there's only a limited area you think it can be.
I got it. When you're presented two targets by your enemy, aim at a third, right? So I've got the option of like looking for it here or just attacking blindly. I'm gonna take that lit torch that I lit earlier and just chuck it in the hay.
Nice.
Boom.
Okay. All right.
I have no mechanics for this. I'm sorry.
No, that's totally fine. I will just simply ask you, do you throw it to the left or the right?
Is the door in either of those directions?
No, it is not.
Oh,
The door is like directly behind you all.
left.
Fantastic. Shame, man. As you do, immediately, it begins kind of spreading out and kind of the fire spreads over the hay, and you begin hearing the popping and crackling, little debris kind of flies off, and it's going to take approximately a round or two before this barn is going up. I'll let you know that quickly as it spreads. And give me a quick percentile, please, Frax.
Yeah, I'm rolling above average.
Yes, you are. And you hear this horrible kind of growling noise as like the fire-strewn hay is just thrown across the barn. The creature pulls itself out of the fire, revealing itself instead of being burnt alive. Which will, if you have a bonus action left, I'm going to say you've still got that.
I potentially do. In fact, yeah, I'm gonna use my bonus action, but not in any useful way. I'm a gladiator, so like I'm gonna showboat a little bit. Like I'm gonna like point at it like a wrestler and do the slow cutthroat, and that'll be my bonus action.
Can you give me a performance check on that one?
Hell yes, I thought you'd never ask. 26.
I don't know about you, but Norman is amped.
The beast sees you as you're kind of like showboating a little bit, showing how impressive you are, and you're doing it to enough of a degree, at least, that the creature turns its head towards you. Like it sends a glance off towards Gnorman, and then turns its head towards you, and it's gonna just let out this bellowing war cry of challenge in your direction. But first, Pere, you're up.
Okay, cool. I am going to... I've never done this before because I've never been a cleric. I'm gonna grab my holy symbol, which is just like a giant sewing needle. And I'm going to...
We call those swords.
I promise you it's a sewing needle, because my my goddess of choice is Sharandlar, and I am going to do a cool little fancy spin, and all of a sudden the sewing needle's on fire, and I'm just gonna like chuck it straight out. It's corporeal. It's not corporeal. And I'm going to say, "I see you, you ugly, disgusting thing." And I'm going to channel divinity and turn undead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spider made of
Hopefully that
corpses
will do
feels
something.
undead.
It will certainly do something. Now, if
So
my memory
here,
serves, regarding Turn Undead, at your current level, you are limited to challenge rating 1 creatures or 2 creatures in terms of your destruction abilities.
As an action, I think it's just 1 creature.
Mm-hmm. It should
Oh
also
no, it
say
says
what
each undead.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can see in here within 30 feet.
Oh, it's a wisdom
So
saving
any
throw. It's a
undead.
wisdom saving throw.
Yeah,
That's how it's
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're not using you don't have the destroy undead section though?
I do, but I don't think it's a challenge rating of if the CR is lower than the threshold of your level. So I'm 5th, so it's
Okay.
half.
Fantastic. In which case, it does
That's
not get
math.
immediately destroyed because that would be bad. And on a wisdom saving throw, it is going to be a 19 total.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I don't know what it does on a success. I just don't think it does anything on a success.
I'm afraid not.
That's
It
fine.
looked cool,
With my
though.
bonus action, thank you. With my bonus action, I will I don't know, conjure. That's the word. My spiritual weapon, which is it's a bust of me, not me, of Pere doing this, and that's it. It's on fire. It's on fire.
Spiritual weapon, bonus action. I think you get an attack when you cast it.
Yes, you do.
Do I?
Yeah,
Nice.
You do.
clerics are really powerful.
I
Especially
will
against undead.
just ram it right into its face.
He's
Remember
been
the first
beaten
time a
up with a
cleric-
statue.
I remember the first time a cleric at level 1 pulled out a guiding bolt on me. Like level 1 guiding bolt is ridiculously powerful.
That's the good stuff.
So,
like 46.
Does a 16 hit?
A 16 does indeed hit. As you batter this creature with this amazing spiritual statue of yourself.
It's 8 damage.
For 8 damage. Oh my god. But you just, like, as this thing batters it across the side of the face, half of it just kind of slumps away. This creature is definitely bloodied, just to clarify. And like, it's like structurally not holding together anymore as half its face collapses and begins to go pouring down. These worms begin spilling out of this creature, half its mouth still intact. As it's like, it's turned from less talking and more just these noises and this chittering that it starts making. And you see, like, it looks up at you, and then you realize it's not looking up at you, Pere. And you hear a voice coming from the doorway of this barn, and it says, "You know, I thought by simply just sending you away, you'd stop being a problem. And yet, here you are." And as you kind of turn, you can see in these beautiful ornate robes covered in black and blue, etched in starlight, you see the town cleric, Selden, standing there as he holds his staff in hand. Says, "Well then, so be it. If I must do it myself, I will." He's going to enter at the top of the initiative order with an Eldritch Blast.
Bamboozled.
Bamboozled. As you see, fires off 3, and he's going to go for Vrex, Norman, and Bray, because you're all like kind of most immediately there around him. 3 Eldritch Blast has 3 different. Yeah, cool.
Yep, 3 bolts, yeah.
Not magic missile, that's different. Okay, so this is going to be a 17 to hit Vrex.
Oh, hang on. Is this only on missiles? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you
only on
gotta
missiles.
touch it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
I'm
a
afraid it does not work for this one.
Yep.
That
So
would
that
be
hits me.
cool.
It would be
It's
cool.
gonna hit.
I was thinking like Poe, you know. I think I need to be higher level for that.
The second blast flies off towards Darwin for a total of 12.
Ooh.
Oh, sorry, not
was
Darwin.
that being
Gnorman.
targeted?
Gnorman.
I was like, I can
Gnorman
take
for
it,
12.
but okay.
Well, Norman, being a little shorter than your average target, just ducks a little bit and sizzles right past his hat. That is my favorite hat band. Oh, this is over for you.
And the last roll was an 18 towards Paray.
Meets it, beats it.
All right, so it's going to be a total of 4 points of damage to Vrex and 5 points of damage to Paray. Both of these are force damage for those viewing at home.
Damn, I'm quite healthy. Cool.
But as I say, you also begin hearing very softly at first in like it sounds like someone who's just a little bit out of your hearing begins whispering. You know they're a little bit away, but you don't know where they are. You just hear it. With that, top of the initiative order once again, Norman.
Well, Norman is going to start off his turn by casting Cure Light Wounds and getting himself back some of them sweet HP he was so recently robbed of. We're gonna let one off at. I think we're gonna call that against the cleric who just showed up and shot at us because I don't like that. It's a 17.
17 is going to hit well and truly. You can see there's somewhat ethereal armor that's around this, and it just penetrates straight through it, blasting it away.
Yeah, well then take 16 force damage and get pushed 5 feet back.
You can see as this cleric kind of just shunted along the ground, their feet not moving, these 2 just drag lines there. And he looks up. Huh. You have become weak.
Are you kidding?
After that, Darwin, back to you.
Can I see the monster now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pop off another chill touch. That seemed to do well. That's a 24 to hit.
Yes, 24 hits.
So 2d8 necrotic damage, and it has disadvantage on me till the next round. And I'm gonna do my hail of spores, but I'm gonna do it to the cleric. I'm gonna because I have to do it within 10 feet, so I'm gonna get in the cleric's face, and I think that's a DC 15 con save.
Ooh, that's...
The 2d4. I'm like, I don't like you.
I'm afraid that is going to be a 19 with a 17 on the dice. He does pass. That's half damage.
Just run up to him. Pocket spores.
Basically, yes. I get my hold on.
Oh wow.
Get those on.
That's yep.
These are from a Dale Gribble cosplay I did. Anyway, yeah, I do pocket spores.
Nah. Fantastic. We go back to the creature, and you can see that like its body is beginning to fall apart. It's having difficulty holding itself together. This crafted creature that has been brought into this unlife. It looks around, just furious. It lets out this shrill, chittering scream that echoes through your ears. And with horrifying speed, it dashes across, passing all 4 of you. And it will make one attack against each and all of you, using its flurry of claws ability.
Okay.
That is going to be a 12 to hit Vrex.
12 does not hit.
Okay.
Does it move out of
Darwin.
my? Does it move out of my range? Can I reaction attack this thing?
Yes, you can, as it happens.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I apologize. Actually, either before or after these attacks, it can move its speed as a bonus action without provoking opportunity attacks. I apologize. I misread that.
Bamboozled.
Yes, I am. I'm
It's-
terribly sorry.
Bamboozled again.
It's just doing crazy spider monk stuff. You've heard of this.
Well, actually, as it happens, it does. Like, you see as it just bounds up to the top of the loft, comes back down, lands next to Darwin, swiping at you. Did I make an
With
attack roll against you? With disadvantage. So, no, I haven't.
I still got the thing on its neck.
All right, that's a 12 and an 18 on the die, so a 19 to hit on the low end.
That definitely still hits.
Okay.
Oh, you said 12. I was
I'm so
like, 12
sorry.
doesn't hit. Oh, 19 does.
Again, then it skitters across the ground incredibly fast, slashing across Norman as it runs by. That's going to be a 10, but a miss. Once again, misunderstanding what a gnome actually is. And Pere, that is going to be a natural 21 to hit you, I'm afraid.
Get it over and done with.
What damage does it do to me, or are you going to calculate it all at once?
Yes, I'm about to just quickly go through and do those as well. So for Darwin, it's going to be 10 points of slashing damage.
Ooh.
And for Pere, 10 points of slashing damage.
Can we jail that dice?
It's a D6!
Well,
Oh
can you
my-
make it smaller?
I'll
Cut one of the sides off it or something?
I'll trade it in for a nicer die.
Surely you have
The
everyone's
creature.
the stock set of prime numbered dice that we all buy when we start gaming. The 1, 3, 5, 7, 11, 17. Stock regular dice. We've all played D&D.
Stop. You're hurting me. You're a monster. I love it. After this creature kind of looks around, seeing you all injured, and like as it's cut across some of you, but not all of you, and it turns its head looking towards this cleric. Towards Seldom. It says, "Master, I can deal with these." And Seldom says, "You have no need. Be done with this. There are other things that require our attention." And after that is going to be Virex.
Oh, I think I thought I was gonna run. I was like, "Don't you escape me again!" I'm gonna like slowly, gladiator style here, draw the quarterstaff from my back, and with two hands rush towards the creature. I want to clock it around the head first of all, and heck, I might burn my nat 20 on this.
I mean, it's a big movie style hit. It's fun.
Yeah, why can't I delete things? Okay.
Oh, because nothing can truly be erased. The past is with us forever.
Well, yeah, so that's true. I'm just gonna roll that just so I've got something to roll damage with. So it will be 8 plus 9. So 17 points of damage.
I'm sorry.
Immediately.
Oh, plus 9. Yep. Yeah. No, continue.
Yeah.
Continue.
No, wait, 9 plus 8. I can math 17. 17. I can math. I can.
Nice.
If Roll20 doesn't do it for me, I freeze. Okay. Then I'm gonna extra attack and hit it again. This time actually rolling.
I'm going to hold you there for a quick second, and I'm going to ask you what it looks like when you kill this creature with that nat 20 hit.
Ow! Yeah! Like, I'm getting ready to pull the staff out for the next attack, and like, I guess I just bring some brains with it, and I'm like, it.
And yeah, you all see like this creature just immediately, once this head has been destroyed, its body kind of like the stitching stops having whatever magic was holding it together, and the pieces just kind of crumple and fall together into like this weird little pile. And as it does, Seldom who looks on with horror and anger. "What have you done? What have you done?" Rex, you still have your extra attack.
Yeah, I like showboat a little bit and like what I'd been having wrapped around my hand the whole time was a sling. I'm just gonna drop out, and I'll just extra attack with that from here, so I don't have to move any.
Yep.
Does a 13 hit?
A 13 does not hit, I'm afraid.
Now, as he's dodging out of the way of that, I'm gonna use my bonus action to spend a key point and flurry
To
of
never
blows
stop
him.
punching them in the face.
Yes! So I'm gonna run up and try and go for the old low blow kick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if only I had an advantage. An 8's not gonna hit.
Ooh,
They're
fair
a
enough.
wily one. I'm gonna bounce off that door and try and spin a heel towards them. 17, maybe.
A 17 to hit. A 17 does hit.
7 bludgeoning damage.
Nice. 7 bludgeoning damage. Okay. He's beginning to looking a little bruised at a couple of these hard shots, and that one that's kind of cracked over like the upper shoulder skull areas was really kind of hurt quite a bit. After Rex, it's going to be Hooray.
Hooray is going to look up at the sky, flick her hand a couple of times, pull in a lightning bolt, and shoot it out towards the cleric. I don't like fake clerics. And I'm going to
Sounds mad.
cast Guiding Bolt at 3rd level. And hopefully it will hit. Oh, bloody hell. Sorry, can I use my natural 20?
Yeah, you have it sitting there. Feel free.
Cool beans. But I don't think it did that. It wouldn't do it at...
Oh, do you want if you want it to roll an automatic nat 20, just press the little cog on your weapon, and just change the crit range to 1. Then anything you click, it'll roll it'll roll critical.
I was actually
He's
just trying
hacked
to
the
cast it at 3rd level. Can I do that with Roll20? I should be able to, right?
Yeah, you
Should
should be
get
able
the
to.
option should pop up.
It didn't pop up. Anyway, it's an additional...
Oh, it'll do it when you roll damage. It'll do it when you roll damage.
Got yeah. Okay, we'll just do that. There we go. Level. Trez.
Perfect.
15? Sure. Whatever.
Plus your
15
crit
radiant
rate.
damage.
Plus your crit rate, right? Which is natural, maximum dice? Is it 1 natural dice?
So
or all?
an additional 6.
Additional 6, so 21 points of damage.
Yeah.
Yep,
Nice.
fantastic. That whew, you say as that kind of connects, it just begins burning away. Aside from the mage armor that he's wearing, kind of burns it away. You can see as the sheer radiance just begins to singe and set fire, exposing this very pale colored flesh underneath the armor. That is begins to immediately red blister and bleed a little bit. Oof, that hurt. Well done.
Sorry, I didn't know.
I thought that was intentional.
Oh, I did too. I almost said something,
It
but
was
I was like, oh, this is a
epic.
cool cleric
Yeah,
moment.
it
No,
sounded
what
great.
was it? Sorry, I didn't know I had it on.
Well, here comes some Valkyrie ass thunder shit.
I just accepted it. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, the production values on this stream are amazing.
Okay, with the remaining 6 minutes I've got, you see as Seldom kind of looks down at this, touching his own blood, looking at it with not confusion but disdain, and looks
Oh, it
up
is
to you,
gross.
Hooray, and to Rex. You do not know what true power is, but my lord will show you. And as he says this, his eyes just blacken. Tendrils begin to kind of explode out of the back, these black Evard-like tentacles that kind of begin moving. And he says, you do not know what you have done. And he is going to reach out to Rex, because you've made these attacks against him right up to him. And he's going to make a melee spell attack against you.
That's not fun.
It's going to be a 19 to hit.
And no. Yeah, that hits.
No. Okay. Hey, It's not a crit, right? Those are the little things you gotta enjoy.
Yeah, but that dice doesn't roll anything less than a 10.
If I just do this, I have to put a slash in, don't I? Boom. Fantastic. You begin, as he grabs a hold of you, you see the color in his hands begins to kind of become more vibrant as your life force is sucked out of your body. You take 16 points of necrotic damage as he begins to enjoy life once again. You will fuel me, and with your life, I will destroy everything else. And that is going to bring us to Gnorman's turn.
Much like Power Rangers and wrestlers, as they do this, I'm gonna...
Please stop.
Oh, actually, sorry. One thing I'm going to quickly do. Who here is feeling really lucky? Awesome. That's what I love to hear. Hooray, you volunteered. Can you give me a percentile to see how well this barn burning's going?
Cack.
That you're all in?
51.
Ooh.
Exactly
This
average.
is getting
Wait, no,
crazy.
that could be fine. That's the most
Yeah.
fine it could possibly be.
Yep. The fire is spreading exactly as anticipated. Half the barn is kind of caught up, and you now begin hearing like the creeping sounds as the wooden rafters are not going to take this pressure for much longer before they're going to collapse down, basically on top of all of you because you're inside this barn. And the only way out that you've found so far is this evil cleric warlock standing in the way of it. With that, yes, Norman, your turn.
Norman is going to move towards and just point his stick like, put down my friend. That is Scorching Ray. 18, 16, 17.
15. Whoa, 3 for 3. You hit.
All right, so that's Eldritch. That's Arcane Firearm gives me a bonus of 6. And now let's go ahead and get your 6d6 ready.
That could be a problem.
So that'll be 23 total.
That's not as much of a problem.
That's okay. Bonus action.
Oh dear.
19. So that is good. That is a natural 19. So I'm gonna assume that hits.
It's a getting a hit.
That,
Yeah.
And
God damn you and your cannon.
take another 15 force damage, and you are pushed back 5 feet, clearing so you can get out of my way, so I can leave this horrible on fire barn full of corpses.
That's fair. That's fair. You quickly duck out and make your way around. Oh my goodness. But more so, like, these blasts just crash into this guy, sending him reeling backwards, sliding. This time he does not have the stature to hold his stance as he's dragged. He almost falls over as he goes. And you can see now that, like, as he tries to bring himself up, he does not have the strength he did before. These tentacles actually even kind of more propel him upwards, holding him there. Are you going to make your way out around him after that, I guess?
I'm gonna, if I can do so reasonably, if I can do so safely, yes.
Yes, I'm going to say you definitely can.
Well, then I'm gonna do that. Thank you.
Fantastic.
I'm gonna not die in the burning building. Hell yeah.
Darwin, you hear the roof rafters above you beginning to crack, snap, pop, and break. And you can see as Norman's made his way out, shunting this person out of the way. What would you like to do?
I'm going to cast Chill Touch, because I forgot when I cast Chill Touch, if it lands, the creature can't regain hit points, so I'm going to try to stop whatever life drain thing it did. So it's a 20 to hit.
Very chill.
A 20 is definitely going to hit.
And that's 8. So that's 14 necrotic damage. It has disadvantage on me and it can't heal to my next turn. And then I'm going to try to run past it to go out. And as I do that, I'm going to try to put spores in its face.
Okay. It is going... Actually, no, he's not going to make an attack. Yeah, give me that attack roll.
For the spores, it's
a saving
DC
throw.
15 con save, I think. which it might make with
Not with a 2 on the die.
Yeah.
Okay, my die has started turning on me. I see how this is.
Tiny Junker donates to give you an advantage for the closing minutes there, and they'd like to remind you about your stack of disadvantages as well.
I know. Wait, do I have the advantage?
You get an advantage, yeah.
Oh,
Tiny Junker wants
much.
to
You
see
have
it,
like
wants to see him
6
out
of
on top
that.
it. Yeah.
Fantastic. I have to kill you all. After Darwin, you make your way outside. Vrex, you're going to be up next.
Yeah. So, I'm right by this person, right? We're right by the door.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the attack action. I'd like to attack action grapple.
Fair enough.
Ooh.
Excellent. I'm going to make a counter athletics roll against yours.
$16.
You are successful in this grapple check.
Great. I'm going to pick up the cleric and with half movement speed, walk 20 feet out of the barn.
All right. Wow. Okay.
Then, I'd like to extra attack, shove to pin them to the ground.
All right. Give that a shot.
Again, it's an opposed thing. This is only a 10.
Yep. But this time I got a 19 minus 1, so 18 on the die.
So yeah, I don't get to put you down.
As you try and like force him down to the ground, you can see these tentacles protruding from the back push back and like rise his face up to yours. And you hear a voice as it just simply says, like, this is not his, it's just deep and bottomless, fathomless, if you will, as it says, "This is not the day. I will return. The Lord of Stars awaits." And as it says that, like, this body begins shaking, and suddenly this look of panic crosses over his face as you're holding him, like looking him right in the eyes. And he kind of looks around and says, "No, I can still do it. It can still be done." And that's going to probably end your turn, unless there's anything else you would like to do.
Yeah, bonus action key point. I'm gonna elbow it and knee it a few times while I'm grappling it. Like, stop all of this. Stop
Poke
all
him
of
in the
this.
eyes.
A 19 and
Alright.
a 24. Like, stop all of this.
Vrex, how would you like to do this?
I'm good. Well, okay, great. Yeah, there's 13 damage. I like, as it's like, stop this. No, you stop this. I'm thinking they're talking to me. I don't pick up on the whole voices thing. I've got 8 intelligence, so I'm just like, no, you stop it. I'm done with you. And like, I'm just gonna pummel them a bit.
And you just kind of wham, wham, slowly pushing this face into until like there is no life left. The body kind of falls crumpled limply onto the ground. And the back tentacles kind of begin melting into ichor that bubbles and pops and kind of hisses. And it has this strange whispering quality that sounds like 1,000 voices just slightly too far away. And that too begins to fade as you have successfully defeated this little adventure.
Brilliant. I'm going to dive straight into my pack and pull out the bagpipes I've had in there the whole time and play a success song.
Behind
Can
you,
cast
the barn
opposite of ending?
crashes. Oh, man. Goodness gracious. Thank you. Wow.
Oh my goodness. That was so much fun, Kronis. That was great.
Thank
That's
you.
fantastic.
Yeah. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go around. We're going to give everyone a chance to wrap up. We're going to share links and all that good stuff. We're going to talk about our sponsors very quickly. I'll run some credits, which will have all of the attribution licenses for all of that music. So if you liked any of the songs that you heard there, you'll see all of that in the credits. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's start by going around. We'll go the opposite way around and start with #subtext.
Oh, hey, it's me. I played Norman. You remember? You were watching the thing. I played Jerry on Critical Bits. I'm at #subtext on Twitter. I will do comedy in Atlanta, Georgia, and the surrounding areas eventually, once again, when public events are ever allowed. So, like, catch me in 2025 or whatever. But otherwise, I'm around. Say hi.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Next around, we have Nadine at Any Actor.
Hello, it was me. I'm not French, unfortunately. well, sorry, I'm English, I should say, fortunately. And and I played the beautiful Corée. Thank you so much, Granos, for this fantastic adventure. It was awesome. You can catch me on Twitter or Twitch doing those things. I do voice acting stuff, podcasts, and gaming. I don't know. What else do we all do in this crazy, crazy world right now? But thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And next around we have Shannon Scusi? Scusi?
Strucci.
Strucci.
Like
Yeah.
Gucci.
Like Gucci. Yeah. Okay, well,
Nice.
Shannon Strucci. Like Gucci.
Mhm.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Kim on Critical Bits, the teenage body horror teen superhero podcast thing that me and Paul and some other people do. I'm the film correspondent for the leftist pop culture podcast Struggle Session, and I do Strucci movies on YouTube, like video essays, and I do Scanline with H. Bummer Guy, and you can find me on Twitter at Plenty of Alcoves. And that was super fun. I really enjoyed that.
Very much
Thank
so,
you.
yes.
Yeah. That was
Thanks,
amazing.
everyone.
Lastly around, we have our Dungeon Master of the final show. Thank you so much, Chronist at TableGameSmith.
Thank you for having me. It was genuinely so much fun, and I had an absolute ball. You guys are so entertaining and so funny, and oh man, it's. Apologies, the ending kind of came a little blindsidedly, but I'm saying thank you so much. That's what I gotta say. Thank you all. And you can, yeah, as you said, you can find me at TableGameSmith doing what I do. That's what I do. I'm an editor. So yeah, you might find my work popping up here and there. Thank you.
I love that. So, everyone, check out our sponsors. We are sponsored by Hero Forge. You can catch out all of our stuff with them on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. as we make these beautiful colored minis. We've already made me and Alice. We're going to probably get them printed out, I imagine. Also, check out the Deck of Many. The Deck of Many Things, a card that cards that you can play to affect the game, and also Humblewood at 6 p.m. on Thursdays. Also, check out Mage Hand Press expansions for 5e. All their PDFs are currently on 25% discount for the distant socializing, and you can catch Downside Up, which is their Faitholio expansion, on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. EDT. Time is fake. Also, Dungeon Fog. Check out Dungeon Fog, all of your map making needs. If you like the look of their free tool, you can upgrade to their premium tools with our code Scratticus, which gives you a 10% discount. And you can make maps that you can create and share and play with your friends. Check out our social links as well. If you like our vibe, come and join our tribe over in the Discord. And Twitter, YouTube, get a feel for it. When you like the feel of it, send me a DM at Twitter and we'll sort you out with a game. Thank you, Sphinx, for popping the schedule as well. I think that's everything. So until next time, keep on evoking emotions, everyone, and hang on for the raid. See you later. Okay, everyone, we are gonna go on a raid. Join us, get that raid cry in chat. I haven't set up the raid cry command yet. I'll set it up for tomorrow. But let's get that raid cry in chat there. Yeah, join us on the raid. We are gonna go and raid a familiar face. Madame Gandalf is live. She'll have a raid response, and you know what? We should start a hype train. We'll see you over there. Bye! Keep evoking emotions!